You know, I really don't know what to think anymore about our mainstream media and how they are lying to you about even the simplest things that you can prove yourself by doing a Google search on Obama's house and fence and all that other bullshit. Now, by now you heard President Trump tweeted, well, Obama's got a wall around his house, 10-foot wall, and we need a bigger wall, on the southern border, whatever. It's typical stuff. Nothing unusual. Well, the press coverage has been, shall we say, less than truthful, to be charitable. Look at the image which says NBC on top. They're telling you how there's no wall and there's all this other shit and blah, blah, freaking blah. And to support their story, the picture you see is from years ago. That's the big picture at the top of the news story. See, there's no wall here. Trump's crazy. Impeach him. And the leftist loony bins are out there, Leftists, you are stupid. If you can't do a 2-second Google search and look, even if you hate Trump, do you realize the media is lying to you? I know you don't particularly care because you don't like Trump. I get it. What happens if the media suddenly becomes right-wing? What would you say then if they lied about everything that Hillary Clinton does as president? And people on the right actually believed it. You could say Fox News. I don't disagree. There's definitely bias there. I'm not even going to dispute that. But to sit there and tell us, oh no, President Obama, he has no fence around his house. Donald Trump is he's a lunatic. Or whatever it's saying, Obviously, he's pushing his border wall agenda, and he's saying, wait a minute, President Obama has a wall around his house, and that's perfectly fine for his security. We need a wall on the southern border, and the media just freaking destroy. Even the Washington Post, they did a fact check, and they said the claim is not true. Look at the pictures. You see brick pillars that are about 8 or 9 feet tall that are just being put up here. This was a couple of days ago. Now, do you think they're going to leave those brick pillars just there by themselves like it's a new fashion statement? Like it's the Washington, sort of thing? Of course not. Look to the right side where the secret security shack is there, or whatever, the Secret Service. You see those brick pillars there on the right side and the left side of the driveway? Isn't it a coincidence that the pillars right in front of the house are the same height? Do you think that a steel fence like the one you see on the right will be installed on those brick pillars? Do you think for 1 minute the Secret Service, who is tasked with protecting the president and his family, is going to leave his fucking stairway to his front door unguarded and unfenced? So any nut job can walk in off the street and knock on his front door? Are you out of your mind? But this is the bullshit we are supposed to believe from the mainstream media for their pushing an agenda. We all know this. It's all propaganda. It's all bullshit at this point. I mean, there are a few exceptions running around that actually report the story. This is just propaganda. It's nonsense. Of course they're going to put a freaking fence up. And the Washington Post fact checks, well, it's not a brick wall, so you see, he's a Nazi. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in my entire freaking life. Maybe Richard Nixon, but Nixon, he actually did something illegal, or his cronies did. I've never seen anything like this. Of course, Ronald Reagan, Alzheimer's disease when he was elected, and he wasn't even really the president, and they lied. But I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. You remember Obama when he said we have 57 states? Obviously, it was a mistake. He's probably, if you're campaigning for 18 hours a day, I mean, you're getting tired. Do you know what happened when Dan Quayle, running for vice president in 1988, when he misspelled the word potato? At least that's what they wanted to tell. Look how stupid this guy is. Look at how fucking dumb this guy is. You want to elect this idiot, this dunce cap over here as vice president of the United States. What's wrong with you people? It was fucking days of coverage because he didn't put an E on the end of potatoes, or he didn't. I don't even freaking remember. But all I know is clearly it was just a silly, stupid mistake. Do you think the press lets red meat like that go? Only in the case of leftists and those who support their agenda. Links below. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.